How do you stop sibling conflict? I'm Dr. Kirsten Hunter, clinical psychologist, and yes, I love talking about this stuff. So, sibling conflict, really common issue. So we've got a family, we've got parents, and we've got siblings that are constantly bickering, arguing, being mean to each other, provoking each other. Maybe it's just verbal, or maybe it's gone physical. And the parents keep saying, stop it, and they give lots of warnings and threats, and they get aggravated and they get angry, and it just spirals and nothing happens really. So then I have parents who say to me, well, I used to fight with my sibling, so it's kind of just what happens, it's just inevitable, or even if they don't say it, in their behavior there's a level of just accepting that that's normal. And I think that's really sad because, we want siblings to have a good relationship for their childhood and their adulthood. It's really important. And having conflict in the home is not necessary. It's not normal. It might be common, but it's not necessary. And this all comes down to finding a framework where you can train your child, and I mean that. I mean, it's an apprenticeship, isn't it? Learning how to what their value system is, what their code of conduct is, how they choose to behave towards each other, how they want to step into who they are, what kind of person they are when they look at their behavior. So there's lots of parenting involved, and so let's step back for a sec. It's a huge area, so I'm just going to talk about two quick areas, two quick approaches, I guess. One is, instead of constantly saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, and the kids say, I didn't, and there's big discussion, lots of negative language, and lots of debate as to whether it was that bad or whether they meant it. I think we flip that and we actually say, we have a culture in our family where it's loving. We're loving towards each other. That's kind of common sense, but we don't use that language. Is it loving? So suddenly we have got a benchmark that's really good, solid, clear. Is it loving? Now, if it's not loving, it's not on. If it is loving, okay. So suddenly we've got very clear, consistent, and positive language that in itself is very reinforcing with a positive message. So is it loving? Then with each child, this is something I've been doing for many years and it works so great, is you get a clear jar, like a glass jar, and in it you put marbles. So 1 jar per child. 2 kids, 2 jars, 3 kids, 3 jars. And this is for kids 4 years and older. And you put all these marbles in and you work out how many when you work backwards from this. And every time a child is not loving, they lose a marble. So every day the marbles get refilled to the same amount per child. And if a child does something that's not loving, they lose a marble. And you literally say, well, Johnny, you've just lost a marble. Claire, you've just lost a marble. And they're losing all these marbles every time they're not loving towards others. And that can be an animal, by the way, if there's any cruelty to animals. And then after dinner, every day, you go and you count the marbles. And for the amount of marbles that you have, you get 1 Smartie or M&M per marble. So, if little Johnny has lost, 15 of his 20 marbles, he gets 5 Smarties. Where if little Patrick has only lost, 7 marbles, then he's still got 13, so he gets 13 Smarties. So the 2 kids are looking at how many Smarties they've got for dessert after dinner, and that competitive edge kicks in and they start to realize, oh, okay, so there's a consequence for my actions. And when they go the next day to say something or do something that's not loving, they think, well, is it worth it? I'm going to lose a marble here. I'm going to lose a Smartie. And my brother or sister, how many are they getting? I want to get more than them. So we're creating this very behavioral contingency, I guess, to create motivation, because children aren't going to behave well because they should. Definitely not because the parent's telling them to. They're going to behave well because it helps them, it benefits them. So create a system where it does benefit them. The other area I wanted to just really briefly talk about is a lot of people say pick your battles. I don't agree with that at all. If you have a child misbehaving and you let it go, then the child learns, well, I got away with that, I'll do it again. If there's anyone on the receiving end, they don't feel supported by the parent. And if the child is misbehaving to get the parent's reaction, to get the parent's negative emotion or negative time, because that's the currency for kids, then the child will just keep misbehaving until the parent does react. So basically, I think you do need to watch constantly, and if a child is misbehaving, then you jump on. If they are, this is a huge topic, but if they are not being compliant, Beck, I need you to jump in the shower. Beck doesn't, then you come and give her a warning, and if she doesn't, then you have the consequence. Whereas if it's doing harm to something, such as if, little Tim goes and hits his sister, then that's immediately to the consequence. And so basically jump on it, parent, be very proactive, shape your children's behaviour. And the consequence that I like is timeout, and that's timeout that is not what parents normally do. So this is timeout where you are consistent, you don't threaten, you have those steps and you follow through. And if the child is the timeout is able to be their bed and they're not going to go and jump on the bed or play with toys, they're going to be quiet there, you can use their bed. But if they're going to play with toys or if they're going to jump on their bed, then it's not a timeout. And then we use another spot, so it might be a quiet corner somewhere in the house. It could even be the toilet if you take out all flushable objects. So the child learns that if I behave well, life's good. If I misbehave, mum and dad are going to follow through, and I'm going to have to go and have time out. And time out is just somewhere that's safe and boring. That's all it is. It's not big and bad. And that's how you shape the behaviour. So anyway, massive topic. And so I hope that's helpful. Whew. Okay, if you want to catch me online, Facebook and Instagram, Kirsten Hunter Author, and my website, kirstenhunterauthor.com. Take care. See you later.